What's up, YouTube? It's been it's been a little bit. I know I posted a video a couple weeks, probably not a couple weeks, like probably like a week ago, maybe. At this point, it's Sunday or it's Saturday. It's 13 minutes before Sunday. I think I posted a video last week, sometime during the week, or last weekend. I honestly forget. I've been really locked into, I did this hike last weekend, and I took like 40 videos. I've just been making edits out of them and doing stuff, and I been really focused on like my TikTok and Instagram, because I feel like those are the best ones to push out and to spam videos on, because those are where you get like your brand like popular on, more so making longer videos on YouTube. I've been posting some shorts occasionally, but I've been more focused on Instagram and TikTok, and I apologize for that, because I've had thoughts for days and stuff that I could talk about and ideas from videos that I've seen online, but I just never got in front of this camera and posted stuff. Since my last video, I got a tattoo. It's probably hard to see because it's a little bit dark, but it's two wings. It's two angel wings, and then this is Roman numerals for the number 42, and 42 is the age of my mom when she passed away. And I didn't want to get like the birthdays or like the birth date and death date shit. I think that's a little bit played out, so I got her birthday instead, and that's gonna be on me forever. And I want to get a lot of tattoos, but I want to get meaningful tattoos, and I felt like, given my mom passed away when I was really young, this was a very meaningful tattoo that I could get. So I yesterday I got this tattoo. I said fuck it, sat on that table for 3.5 hours, and 300 euros later, and I have a tattoo on my arm permanently until I fucking die. It past death, until my body decomposes. Today I want to talk about feeling judged by other people, and how that's like one of the biggest downfalls on somebody's goals and ambitions, because they might think that they might take somebody judging them to a personal level and stop what they're doing. Every day people are judging. They judge how you look, what you wear, what you post, your goals, your failures. Everything you do is judged by somebody in life. No matter if you have 10 people telling you how good you're doing, you're gonna have one person telling you you're not doing good enough, or what you're doing is stupid. I've had this thought with the whole posting stuff. If it wasn't for my good friend out here, Lucas, and his brother Dave, who I consider a good friend now. Dave is a really good kid. I like talking to him. I say kid, he's older than me, but Lucas and Dave, they pushed me a lot to start posting on YouTube and posting on Instagram and TikTok. And if I always thought I would be judged, and I'd be looked at in a weird way. Not in a weird way, just like in like you post on Instagram, like what are you trying to do? Like, you're trying to make, like, I always thought it was like cliche, I guess, to post on social media, given how saturated this like world has become over the last couple of years. And I never thought that I would grow a big liking to doing this. And if I haven't, I know I said this before in previous videos, if I hadn't thought that way, I would have started posting a year ago, 2 years ago, and I would have been at other completely higher levels than I am at right now. And I'm not saying that I'm upset where I'm at now, because everything starts from zero. Everybody has to start somewhere, and I'm liking the current trajectory that I'm on. I know I don't post as much on YouTube, but I post a lot on Instagram and TikTok, and I'm kind of in the mindset where just like what happens in life happens. What I'm just living life and enjoying life out here in Italy. Whatever happens kind of thing. And back to the video, like, this is like the strange part behind all this is like they'll judge whether you do something or do nothing. If you chase your dreams, they'll say you're unrealistic. If you play it safe, they'll say you lack in certain ambition. If you succeed, they'll say you got lucky. And if you fail, they'll say they saw that coming. So if people are going to have this opinion no matter why let that opinion control your life? Most people spend years trapped in an invisible prison. Not a prison of walls, but a prison of others people's expectations. They don't start the business. They don't ask the girl out. They don't move to a new city. They don't take that risk, not because they can't, but because they are afraid of what people might say. But think about this, the people criticizing your life aren't the ones who have to live it, and the majority of the time, it is hard to find a hater or a criticizer who is doing better than you are doing. I was talking to my buddy the other day, this kid that I know from back home named Charbel, and he's doing good for himself from what I know. And he like praised me on, I was a really negative person when I was back in Jersey. I was a very negative person individual. I always had something bad to say about certain things. And since I came out here, I've looked at life in different viewpoints, through a different lens, I can say. And he told me, he was like, why would you argue, or why would you take criticism, or you can take criticism, but why would you, I guess, so to say, why would you accept and be bothered by criticism from somebody who is not doing as good as you in life, and who is not in your shoes, and who has not gone through the things that you have gone through? And a lot of times you don't realize that, and you hear these things and you bug out and you stop doing those things. But at the end of your life, you won't regret the opinions people had about you. You'll regret the opportunities you missed because you listened to them. The truth is simple. You could be kind, you could be successful, you could work harder than everybody else, and someone will still find a reason to not like you. That is not your problem. Your responsibility isn't to be understood by others. Your responsibility is to stay true to who you really are. Oh, I'm getting a call from my brother real quick. I'm gonna pause the video. It'll be a second because the video's gonna be paused. Give me 1 second, fellas. I'm back. Sorry, that was a little. I had to just answer real quick some family matter. Back to what I was doing, or what I was saying. Listen. You can listen to advice and learn from criticism, but don't let the fear of judgment decide your future and what you want to do, and if you want to do something, don't let that judgment decide if you do it or don't do it. Because no matter what the path you choose, someone will always have an opinion about what you're doing. So choose the path that makes you proud, not the one that makes everybody else comfortable. People will judge you no matter what, so you might as well live the life you want to live. With that being said, I will talk to you guys in the next one, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a little short one today, but good night, and I'll see you guys in the next one.